Hey guys, what is going on? This is Larknok1 slash Aqwaddict, and today I will be doing my first ZombiU trailer breakdown. I'm going to be going in chronological order with these. So this week, it's the freeze frame panning trailer that got everyone excited to the song God Save the Queen in the background, which is to the same tune as the American song My Country 'Tis of Thee. Without further ado, let's start the video. So I'm going to pause it right here over the Ubisoft logo, and we'll continue to pause it whenever I've got something to say or point out. As always, Ubisoft puts to use their custom intros, so in this case we have the infection spiraling into the Ubisoft logo. The in-game camera starts us off in front of a dandelion spore in order to give us a false sense of security and setting, which it quickly takes away. This has a much more powerful effect the first time you see it than anything else. It turns out that the dandelion is just a part of a life insurance ad, which is ironic considering the game is just about to throw us into an apocalyptic world where the only security you'll have for the future is a shotgun and a couple hundred shells, not medical contracts. Here we've got a newspaper on the left that appears to have three faces on it. I might be overanalyzing, but developers tend to drop little things into our laps just out of viewing distance, and this might be one of them. Moving on. Right here I want to pause it again because the objects the developers put in freefall are all typical household items like pens, an energy drink, groceries, etc. This was probably put in here to try to show us how quickly the virus set in and how little time people had to respond.
God save our gracious Queen.
Pausing right here, we can see that the bus driver was in the process of being infected as the virus moves up his arm. He either freaked out or lost motor control in the process, and either way, he crashed the bus, resulting in the following scene.
Long live our noble Queen. God save the Queen.
I'm going to pause it right here because this lets on a lot about the entire biology of the virus and what we can expect from the in-game scientists, etc. in regards to the virus. On center stage in this shot are those big yellowish whitish cells, which are a bit hard to identify at first, but if you look closely around the scene, you'll find a lot of little red discs, tiny little things. These are red blood cells, so we can deduce that the big white cells are white blood cells.
Victorious, happy and glorious, long.
Here we're in a train scene, and it appears that an old man who has not yet been infected is attempting to hoist his daughter or wife or some female acquaintance up onto the upper platform. Unfortunately for her, zombies have already ripped through her entire thigh, and from the blue-black veins you'll be able to see on her face, she's already in the process of being converted from human to zombie. Also, what I want to point out is that here is that something they did extensively in this trailer, but it's quite hard to spot. Although everything else is in freeze frame, the infection moves through her body and a couple other people's body. You'll be able to see it in her legs, I believe. I doubt this was to imply that the virus spreads faster than gunshot, which we'll see in a shot or two. But it was probably put in there just to show us how it moves. One more thing I wanted to point out here, she's wearing high heels, really, during a zombie outbreak? Stupid bitch.
God save the King. Oh Lord our God, arise.
Here's our first look at the virus spreading through what, from my previous hypothesis, is probably a capillary or vein in our body. As you can see, the virus seems to replicate and grow in a very much vine sort of way, using the white blood cells of its victim as nutrition and being able to grow from there. This scene right here is probably my favorite because it shows so much. So first, here on the table, we've got four things placed. First, we have the family photo to imply people have a lot to lose in the infection. Secondly, we've got several vaccines on the table as if to imply that none of them have worked. In the background, we have some form of glass encased achievement or honorary medal, and then next to it, a pager or work phone to imply the following character is at work and was unable to get home when the virus came for him. One more thing I want to point out at this point is the lighting. If you watch the entire trailer, the scenes of England will come one at a time while the outside lighting will change. In the beginning, it's morning, then it slowly progresses to the afternoon, and finally nighttime. This might be implying that it only took a single day for the infection to entirely spread throughout England. Moving on.
enemies.
Here we've got a couple things to take note of. First, we distinctly have a bottle of painkillers behind the computer, and perhaps a glass of some form of alcohol as well. More towards the front of the camera, you can see the man is also using some form of pills. These are probably also painkillers. The marble motion machine is also in motion, so this guy was probably looking for some form of comfort or distraction before he died. Finally, and most importantly, on the computer, we can see he's using Google Chrome. He has 11 tabs open, implying he's stressing out over the virus. And he's on some page talking about how to cure the virus with a vaccine. Let's keep going.
And make them
Here you can see that the man is in the process of being infected, with the infection starting somewhere on his forearm. I'm going to go out on a limb and say this means he infected himself by accident when trying to use a vaccine. This implies that a vaccine for the virus has not been successfully made, as in the virus itself is extremely hard to weaken or kill, and scientists have not been able to successfully do so yet. One other thing we can see is that the man has tied his necktie around his arm, attempting to slow the virus's spread from his arm up to his brain.
fall.
Right here, I'm not sure what kind of gun this is, although it looks a bit like an M1911 pistol. I'm no expert on guns though, so if you happen to know what it is, please leave that in the comments. If you look at the guy's face, you can see that he has been crying, either in desperation, or loss of his family, or in realizing that this is the apocalypse, the end of humanity.
Confound their politics, frustrate them.
We can see now, as we suspected before, he is in an office setting and is about to be overrun when he shoots himself in the head.
Knavish tricks on the our hopes we fix. God save us all. Thy choices gift and store on her replete.
Here we've got a guy rage suiciding off of London Bridge as he runs over 3 or 4 zombies. As you can now tell, the background is at nighttime. Here I'd like to point out that while the infection is spreading through some person's veins and capillaries, consuming any white blood cells in the way, the red blood cells are being left entirely untouched. This implies that while the infection kills and takes over the human mind, it leaves entirely untouched the life of the human, keeping the body alive.
May she defend our laws and ever give us cause to sing with heart and voice. God save the.
Here we've got a British guard or officer decapitating a zombie with a bayonet-fixed British L85 Enfield rifle, which is a fully automatic gun. You can see another one on the ground. We have not yet been seen any footage of full-auto guns in ZombiU, although this implies heavily that there will be. I'll be surprised if the L85 Enfield doesn't show up as an in-game gun towards the end of the game. We can also see here that the setting is right outside of Buckingham Palace in London, and that the guard is about to be overrun by about 4 or 5 zombies. Finally, here we've got the same guard that just died, and the infection is spreading through his veins and arteries to get to his brain. Once it does get to his brain, it only takes the virus a short 1 or 2 seconds to get complete control over it and reactivate it. Also, one last thing to note, I believe the British clock tower, or some clock tower, is striking midnight in this particular scene, bringing the full day to a close, although I may be wrong. So that's pretty much it, guys. If I missed anything, please post it in the comment section, and I'll add it in as an annotation, giving you credit for finding it. If you like this video, please like it up and subscribe if you'd like me to continue the series, or you would like to continue watching it. Thanks, guys, and as always, peace!